Hey, welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson, a.k.a. Uncle Tex, a.k.a. Professor Tex. Before we get started, smash that like button, subscribe to the page. Got any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. Let me get to this right away, because it's going to be my take on this. And jump here and there with it, but you're going to get the gist of it. First and foremost, as a football fan, been watching football for close to 50 years, for as far as I can remember. Love the game, probably always will love the game, no matter how the way they're doing the game now, supposedly for safety, but that's another story. I've already addressed that before. One of the things that gets me when it comes to this, when it comes to this, I want to say congrats as a football fan, and these guys put their life on the line, do their thing, get banged up, beat up, and stuff like that, and they deserve to be compensated. No matter how I feel about Daniel Jones as a quarterback and whatnot, that's irrelevant. I don't watch pockets. I'm not a pocket watcher. Get as much money as you want. Now, I would never pay quarterbacks the amount of money they're paying. I don't give a shit how good they are. It's ridiculous. How much money do you need to live? But again, neither here nor there. That's just my opinion on it. But get your money. He got a 5-year, $160 million contract. $160 million contract, which includes $82 million guaranteed. Good for him. Good for him. And his family and his legacy with his children, he had any children and whatnot and stuff like that, and generation wealth and all that type of good stuff. For that part, great. As a player, no. As a player, no, I don't. As a player, he's a so-so quarterback. He has tendencies to look very good sometimes, other tendencies to look not so good a lot of times and whatnot. And we can just go here and do this because I like doing this. Like I tell you guys, numbers don't lie, get emotional. People do. You're talking about somebody has a 21-31-1 record. First winning season was his 4th season in the league. Okay, playoff win. I think he got 1 playoff win if I'm not mistaken. Fine, big deal. That's cool. That's cool. But before I even go there, let me go. I kind of jumped a little bit there. Now, I'm gonna come back to this. Going back to him as a player, but as that of a player, because he won't be a player forever. But these are some of the things here that happens whenever when we do these type of things here. Taylor Lewan, the Pro Bowl tackle, he's been hurt a few years. He's been hurt for last couple of years, but he was one of the better tackles in the league. A 3-time Pro Bowl, 3 times in a row. Michigan guy and whatnot. Nasty, talks a lot of trash, and I like him and whatnot. And he was messing with what's the guy? Josh Gordon. I can't remember the little cornerback that played for Carolina. Then he played for the Skins and whatnot. Josh whatever. He wanted to call himself Batman. He's an eye corner. He had his moments and whatnot, and they was getting into it and whatnot. But this is when these teams are done with you. This is what happens. He says, "Shout out to the Titans dropping my stuff off today. They even let me keep the shoulder pads." Now I don't know if this is tongue in cheek. I don't know if this is whatever, he's just playing around with this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, you're done. They get rid of you. So I don't have no problem with players getting their money. Like I said, like Taylor when he signed that contract a couple of years ago, coming in dressed as Boss Hall. I thought that was cool as I don't know what. Thought that was real cool and funny and whatnot. But I don't have no problem with a player getting his money as a Daniel Jones. No problem with that. Because I told y'all a few years ago when Kirk Cousins got that money, I was like, the league is in trouble now. When you start having guys like Jeff Clemens or Josh Clemens, whatever his name was, he went to Tampa Bay for a hot year and whatnot. By the time they drafted what's his name, Jameis Winston, he was gone. Clemens, that same year when old boy got his money to go to Minnesota, this guy goes from basically nobody making maybe $1 million or $2 million a year to all of a sudden he gets a $16 million raise. Why? Because we throwing money at the quarterback position. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So having said that, get your money though. But from a fan standpoint of view, how do you get this? You are having mediocre quarterbacks getting money, and they're getting extremely wealthy. So all the good quarterbacks, the really good to great quarterbacks, MVP style type quarterbacks, winning quarterbacks, look like they're greedy, like they're fucking greedy Gretchen because they're asking for money. So if he gets this amount of money, $82 million guaranteed, what do you think Lamar Jackson is supposed to get? What is he supposed to get? What is somebody like Aaron Rodgers who still can swing the ball? What do you think he's supposed to get? What any other quarterback ends up having a good year? What do you feel is then? What do you think they're supposed to get? What do you think Joe Burrow? What do you think Justin Herbert is going to start asking for, dude? And whatnot now. And Burrow has been to 2 AFC Championship games, and he's been to Super Bowl and lost and stuff like that or whatever and all that. So he's on a trajectory. Herbert was up 27 points and ended up losing by 1 or 2 points. Where was all that greatness that he's displayed in the second half? He got completely shut down, and he has a receiving core and everything. But that's neither here nor there, I suppose. Let's go to Lamar Jackson for shits and giggles. You're looking at somebody who's 45-16 and whatnot. 45-16. Here's all of his stuff here. 2-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro, Offensive Player of the Year, MVP, whole 9 yards. One of the most dynamic quarterbacks, dual threat to ever sit up there and play in this league and whatnot. Looking at his stats and everything, he's missed 5 games the last 2 years. Both times that he missed, they were leading the AFC North. When he took over at quarterback, he's won the North 1, 2, 3 times. I guarantee if he played in those games, they would have won the North. He'd have won the North going on his 5th year in a row. They still could have had a playoff win game. I'm not even going into that because that was just ridiculous. I'm not even going to go there. That starts me another whole thing about Cincinnati ain't as good as everybody claims they are. They got a good coach and so far it's like they're going to go down swinging, but they can go down and whatnot at any given time. So yeah, so you're looking at that because we do with everybody. It's funny when they draft a quarterback, they look at because you don't know what you're getting. You have no clue what you're getting. You don't know what you're getting. You don't have a clue what you're getting, right? Then whenever you get in the league and then you do something like Lamar Jackson did, now, well, he shouldn't really get paid that amount of money. Which one is it? Then what is he supposed to get paid then? So as soon as these guys start asking for money, i.e. black quarterbacks, call it what you want, you can sit up there and talk shit about Patrick Mahomes and stuff like that. He's want that money that he's getting, but you still have doubters talking shit about, well, he ain't really. I had a guy, when I go to my favorite water hole, he's like, yeah, but what? Yeah, but it ain't no buts to it. But I get it. I know what it is. Now they say, well, old boy, Seahawks. I can't even think of the Joker's name and whatnot. But he got a little money and stuff like that. He only doing something he's supposed to do 5-6 years ago. So I ain't impressed. The way he played is the way he was supposed to play when he got drafted. Okay? So this is what we're talking about here. So it's like, so you look at somebody like a Daniel Jones or whatever. It's not about me pocket watching. I don't care. I don't think any of them worth that type of money. Because how much money do you need to live? But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, why is there a problem with Lamar Jackson getting the money that he wants to get? And he's not making no noise. And he's not. Everybody around him is talking. This kid ain't saying shit. He's not saying anything. But it's a problem. He shouldn't get that. I had a Ravens fan that was talking mess to me in the comment section about a couple hours ago. And this joker goes into this soliloquy of, I've been a Ravens fan for 25. He's garbage. His stats are garbage. He ain't this. He ain't that. And he said, the stats said, and I told him quite gracefully, I said, well, look, man. I said, yeah, if you want to say they garbage stats, it's fine. It's still numbers. And that's what you are judged by. Your numbers and what you put up. If you don't put up numbers, garbage or no garbage, you ain't going to get no money. If you put up numbers and at the quarterback position and you've done the things, he has completely outperformed his contract, his rookie contract. Completely outperformed it. Matter of fact, I did this. Go back here. Lamar Jackson was taken 32nd overall in the 2018 draft. Kyler Murray was taken first overall in the 2019 draft. Lamar Jackson is racked up 125 touchdowns, won 45 games, and won an MVP since he was drafted. Kyler Murray is racked up 107 touchdowns, and he has won 25 games since he was drafted. Kyler Murray is currently making an average salary of $46.1 a year. Lamar Jackson made just $32.4 over his entire career. Some assholes say, oh, you black quarterback there. And see, this is the thing about that. And I hear that. And that makes sense, right? That makes a lot of sense. It don't really come down to the player. And it's not really about the whole thing about the NFL. This is about what type of organization that you play for. What organization you play for. Who is willing to do this? So you have ownership in the Giants, right? They're willing to pay this guy this money and put a franchise on their franchise player, which is Saquon Barkley. But you're going to keep him. You're going to pay him because he's a quarterback. And because they're supposed to make their money because the market says that. So the market, if you're going to use that same logic with on the market stuff, then the market calls for the stats and the production that Lamar Jackson has put up to pay him. And the Ravens don't want to pay him. And people say, oh, people, hey, don't touch me. He's all hurt. He got hurt in the pocket twice, 2 years in a row. Like Randall Cunningham said, and I've been critical of Lamar Jackson because he lately, in the past couple years, he's not playing his game. The game that makes him one of the most dangerous guys to be in that pocket because he listens to what these guys say out here and whatnot. And like Randall Cunningham said, when he got hurt, he said, when I got hurt, when Bryce Pop sit up there and sacked him, he said, I was in the pocket. He said, I never got hurt when I got out of the pocket. There it goes. Proof in the pudding. If he plays his game, I guarantee he's not hurt. No, he's back there trying to buy time and all this kind of stuff to give access to, if he runs around or stays there, somebody might, because he's trying to hold the ball, he can scramble, hold the ball, and somebody can just come and end up flying on his goddamn knees. And this is what we're talking about. Play your game. And that's his game. His game for the first 18, 19, 20. Part of 21, part of 22. But 18, 19, and 20 for sure. That's his game. His game is deadly. His speed is ridiculous. And what he does when he gets out in open field, people talk about, he ain't that accurate. I'm like, he has a career completion ratio of 63, almost 64%. What else do you want him to do? Like somebody say, black quarterback, he got to be Superman every effing time. These other guys ain't got to be Superman, right? But this guy here, you're looking at that, and it's like, well, it is what it is, man. But this is based upon this is based upon the franchise. This is based upon the team. The Ravens don't want to pay him. They're going to franchise him this, that, and the other, but it's like they don't want to pay him. And why not? You don't have Lamar, you're not winning the AFC. You're not winning the AFC North. Period. End of freaking story. You're not winning. You're not winning the years that he won it from 18, 19, and 20. And like I said, and they was leading the North both times before he got hurt. Now, if he ain't valuable to that team, I don't know who is. I don't know who is. But this is what they're doing. And they're demonizing this guy. They're demonizing Lamar Jackson by saying anything because he said he stopped talking when they didn't get the contract right before this past season. He was done. He's like, I ain't talking no more about it. Time to play football. Did he tank or whatever? You can say whatever you want to say, but all the major players that played the game say he'll be a fool if he went out there. Everybody seen what happened to Earl Thomas. We all know that. Ironically, ended up going with Baltimore back in that 2019 season when they went 14-2. But this is what we're talking about, man. So don't demonize him for asking for what the market's calling for. The market's doing this. These owners have driven that freaking money up, and a lot of other owners don't want to pay that amount of money. And the excuse that they're going to use is that, see, he's hurt. But whatever excuse was it going to be? Why is it when it comes to these guys trying to get their money, it's a fucking problem? Everybody else, it ain't a problem. I guarantee, Justin Herbert is not going to have a problem. Not is Joe Burrow going to have a problem. They're not going to have a problem. I understand why Washington didn't want to sit up there and give Kirk Cousins money because he really wasn't that guy. But he was putting up, like the guy said, garbage numbers. Okay, he put up garbage numbers. But those numbers is what is polarizing. And he could just catch lightning in a bottle on a decent team instead of being on a very ordinary team. So he figured go to the Vikings, and what have they done? Nothing. They've done nothing. Because when it comes to that time, he ain't the guy. He don't have that gene in him. He don't have it. But you have to play 16 games to get into the tournament. Or 17 now to get into the tournament. You can't go 5 and fucking 12. You can't go 5 and 12 and expect to get in the playoffs. have a great season. Just i.e. going back to, speaking of which, Deshaun Watson, who was 4-12 in 2020 with 33 touchdowns and 7 picks and almost throwing 60% and throw for almost 4,800 yards. Yet he sat at home like I did watching the playoffs. And then watch this damn, and then because they started trading everybody, then he said, I want out, this, that, and the other. I don't want to play. They're getting rid of everybody. Then all of a sudden, his whole world for the past 3 years has been turned upside down for the fucking allegation because he wanted some help. He wasn't even about money because he already got paid. I need help. And you're not going to give me no help. If you're not going to give me no help, I want to be up out of here. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all these women, he did this to me, he did that to me, he did this to me, he did that to me. Funny that when these guys ask for some type of control, or some money, or I need some players, i.e. Russell Wilson. Now Russell Wilson is the worst guy for the first decade of his career. Not an issue with nothing. And now he's a chump. He's trying to get Pete Carroll fired. He's corny. He's this. He's that. Now, if y'all jokers don't see the pattern going on here, you are a fucking fool. And you are blind. And you don't see what's going on here. And try to act like, well, that's not what it is. No, that's exactly what it is. Call a spade a spade. But walk like a duck, quack like a duck is a goddamn duck. You can try to sit up there and act like it ain't no racial shit toward this, then you are a fucking fool. You are a fool. In every sense of the word, a fool. But this is what goes on when these guys ask for money. All of a sudden, Kyler Murray he's a spoiled brat. He's this, he's that. They would never had a problem with this guy. As soon as he started asking, as soon as he was asking for that fucking contract, all of a sudden, he's playing War of Duty, whatever the goddamn games are. He's this. And stay off to this. All of a sudden, this leaks out. All of a sudden, a bunch of ex-players is running around saying, oh, he's like a spoiled brat. He's this, that, and the other. Before that, you didn't hear nothing about this. You didn't hear anything about this. Soon as some type of, when I want a piece of power of my life comes into play and these young men ask for this, they're a problem. It should already be done. These other quarterbacks ain't got to say nothing. They get their money. And they're not demonized. They get their money. Everybody tripping out Dan Jones. What has he done? A losing record and you get paid $82 million guaranteed. Come on, man. You can act like that shit ain't real. And it ain't favoritism. Racism. Call it what it is. Why does he got to go? Why he's silent, but then everybody's talking and they're literally turning him into a demon, and this guy don't even talk to the press. Kyler Murray better say anything to the press. Turn him into that. Same with Russell Wilson. Everything that you want your daughter to marry, you turned him into you've turned him into a fucking cornball. He got rid of the coach. This happened, that happened. Okay. Yeah, like I said, man, we can talk that shit all you want, but in the end, get your money, because when it comes right down to it, that's what's going to happen right there. They're going to get rid of you. Like Jim Brown said, you can love the game, but it ain't going to love you back. And these owners of these teams, they know what they're doing. And when they're done with you, they're done with you. So bleed their ass dry if you can. Because as the great one, whether it was Lawrence Taylor, Eric Dickerson, all them guys, Ricky Jackson, all them guys say they love the NFL, they love the players and stuff like that, but the NFL ain't shit. They ain't shit. They don't give a shit about their past players. They don't give two squats about it. And the NFL and them owners go hand in hand, man. Both of them like peanut butter and jelly. And to sit up there and to demonize this young man, or these young men up out here trying to get their money, and they just so happen to be black quarterbacks. Sorry, guys. I said it. I don't want to make shit about race. I know what I see. I've been on this earth 55 years. And I'm from the South. Shit, I know it. I've seen it. I've been around it. So don't pull that bullshit with me. I know it. But don't come with that talking about like he's some bad man for doing this. Fuck out of here with that shit, man. Like, nah. Get your money. I ain't got no problem with this young man getting his money. But he ain't had to say a word. $82 million guaranteed. 21-31. Gotta love it, man. Only in America. As the great Don King would say, only in America. But this man here, everything you'd ever want. 45-16. Yeah, he got to win a playoff game. I got it. Got to get in the tournament to play, though. You got to get in the tournament to play. So you got to put up one. So you look at somebody averaging right at 10, 11 wins a year. Every year, like I say, if he doesn't miss those 10 games, 5 last year, five this past year, and 5 the year before, they win. They win the North by 5 years in a row, easily. Because they're that, to me, they're better than Cincinnati. But like I said again, but this is what we're talking about, though. But get your bread, because in the end, they don't give two shits about you at all when you get right down to it and whatnot. Like I tell you guys all the time, there is no GOAT, there's no greatest of all time as long as time is still going on. And like I tell you, go right back to it again. Numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do. You guys have a good one.